Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay my fiance's rent? My fiance, 26, male, invited me, 23, female, to live with him last March. At the time, I was working as an au pair and I was reluctant to leave my position, in part because of the free board and room. However, my fiance continued asking me to move in and made it clear that he was offering for me to live at his place rent-free.
Okay.
He himself does not pay any rent or utilities at his apartment since it's owned by his parents.
Oh.
The place has a market value of around £800 per month, and utilities and Wi-Fi come out around to $80 per month. Eventually, I agreed, and we decided that I would pay for all of our groceries. Weird that she's going to pay for all of them. Anyway, would pay for all of our groceries around £350 per month, since after all, I wasn't paying rent.
But didn't she say...
Either is he.
Didn't he say... Wait, he say he didn't want her to? And neither of them are paying rent. Okay.
And he doesn't pay for his utilities either. Anyway, over the past 6 months, we've also used a car owned by his parents. Wow, I want to be in with his parents. Anyway, about 6 times for various errands/weekend trips. On all trips, we split the cost of gas.
Right.
A bit more info. I'm an expat working as a language assistant where I make £1,000 per month. My fiance is an unemployed writer who has zero income, but also spends next to nothing on living expenses.
Okay.
For the first few months, this arrangement worked for us, but after a while, my fiance started to make more comments about how it's his place and I live here for free. Now, after 6 months, he's insisting that I pay rent to his parents or put money into a fund that can be used for his rent in the future.
What?
He continues to live in the apartment without paying any rent to his parents, and his parents have expressed no concerns about me living there. My fiance asserts that he wouldn't be living in this apartment if not for me. He would rather be homeless, which he's done before.
Wait, what?
Or he would find the cheapest apartment possible. It's
But
only
that's
because
free.
I'm in his
Sorry, go on. Why doesn't he want to?
It's only because I'm in his life that he continues to live in this apartment, which he feels damages both his pride and his standing with his family.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hurt by his assistance, but it seems like he wants me to provide for him financially, and it feels unfair that he would want me to pay rent on a place where he is living for free. I've suggested that we find a different apartment in a cheaper area and we split the rent, but he can't afford to move anywhere else. What do you think? Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay him rent?
Bruh.
Am I the asshole for announcing that my dad is not paying for my college tuition? My aunt and uncle are paying for my cousin's college. My dad had a college fund for me, but he had stipulations, like he wanted nothing below a B for grades and to pre-approve any classes I take, as well as weekly meetings to discuss grades and a bunch of other stuff, which would be fine if you have a normal dad. Mine isn't. My dad has a temper, and I spent the 6th to 12th grade stressed out about grades and being screamed at or grounded over things that sometimes weren't even my fault, like a teacher not updating online grading and an assignment being marked missing because of it, and getting my backpack and locker randomly searched by him for no reason besides to make sure I'm not hiding anything. I decided to pay for school myself because of 1, not being stressed over getting screamed at, and 2, I didn't feel like constantly worrying that he'd disapprove of a class or a grade and decide not to pay, which I could totally see him doing. I would rather be in debt than controlled for 4 more years. I just finished my first year. Well, my family got together on the 4th and, well, sometimes they're nosy. They were talking about my cousin's school, and my uncle looked at my dad and said, "Well, how much is OP's school costing you?" I said, "What are you asking him for? I'm the one paying it." Later on, my dad was pissed off and said that it was out of line to say that, and I embarrassed him. I didn't do it to embarrass him, I was just being honest. He doesn't even know how much tuition is, so he was the wrong person to ask. So, am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for wanting my boyfriend to defend/choose me over his girl best friend?
Ooh.
Spicy story.
That's a juicy one.
I think that's fair to a degree. Like if
I need, please.
There's no context.
I feel like you need to send in a story. Send us a story and title it per Erica's request from TikTok.
But also do it on Instagram. Don't do it on TikTok.
Oh, yes. Send it to our Instagram, at JudgiesPod, JUDGIES.
But here's the thing. You should expect your partner to be there for you. But like,
Huh.
if the friendship's longer than the relationship, you can't expect that.
Incorrect.
Like, if they're dating for one day and they've been friends for 17 years,
No, he has a very good point here.
we need context.
I
We
need
need
context.
context.
I need to know. I'm all fired up. I'm not going to be able to, like, sleep until I know.
Probably not, but also maybe.
Story time about how I set up my boyfriend to cheat on me so that I could break up with him. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. I'm at the airport, so I'm sorry if it's noisy. My boyfriend and I have been together for way too long. When our relationship first started, I was constantly chasing him. He never wanted a relationship and basically didn't want to commit to me. So basically, he was trying to be an F-boy while he was with me. And of course, I let him do whatever he wanted because I was too afraid to lose him. I didn't want to be that annoying, nagging girlfriend, so I just never said anything to him. Fast forward 5 years. I've had a huge glow up since we started dating. I lost weight, I got super fit at the gym, like I have abs now. I opened up my own nail salon, and I even got myself a car and a house. Well, let's just say that he stayed the same. In fact, he has no ambitions to getting a better job or anything, and it really annoys me. He started talking about getting married, and I was like, hell nah. But I don't know how to tell him that I don't want to be with him anymore. I mean, I love him, but I just don't want to be with him anymore. And because I'm too much of a coward to actually break up with him, I set him up to cheat on me. I found this girl on Instagram and I told her to DM my boyfriend. He DM'd her back. Part 2 is up. Part 2 of how I got my boyfriend to cheat on me so that I could break up with him. So I got this girl on Instagram to DM him. And this girl was totally his type. Basically, she looked like me but with blonde hair. So she sent him a little DM. He wasted no time and he got back to her. That same day, they set up a freaking date. So I told this girl that all she had to do was go out with him. Like, meet him at a restaurant, but that was it. Little did I know that she had a crush on him. And it makes sense now thinking about it because my friend recommended her, and my friend afterward told me that she actually had a crush on him. A few days later, she sends me a picture of him sleeping in her bed, without a shirt on. And she basically tells me everything that happened. So now, I have all this proof. But guess what? I actually got really pissed. It broke my heart because I didn't expect him to do that. And he was totally avoiding all my calls and messages. He finally came over to my house, and that's when I showed him all of the receipts. All the pictures and messages between him and the girl. That's when he told me that she drugged him and forced him into doing it. Of course, I knew that wasn't true. Then he pulls out a ring and asked me to marry him. That's when he got on his knees and started begging. Part 3 is up. Part 3 of how I set up my boyfriend to cheat on me so that I could break up with him. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. As he's begging on his hands and knees for me to marry him, that's a call from the girl that he cheated on me with. He puts the phone in his pocket and he started acting all nervous, so that's how I knew. That's when I told him to show me his phone. Then he ran to the bathroom and threw it into the toilet. Then he locked himself in my bathroom and basically begged me for 3 hours to stay with him. Told me that he would never be able to find anyone as good as I was, and that he loved me and blah 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 blah. At this point I told him I was going to call the cops to get him out, but I just couldn't bring myself to it. I really felt bad for him. I mean, after all, I did set him up. He eventually left and I didn't speak to him for a few weeks. A few days ago I actually started talking to this new guy. He's been super flaky and every time we decide to go out he always bails. So now I'm thinking maybe I should take my ex back. He sent me flowers but I've been trying to ignore him, but my parents don't want me to get back with him. Part of me thinks that he was probably already cheating on me. I mean, he DM'd that girl really quick. I honestly don't know what to do, and I'm even starting to feel guilty about what I did. At the same time, he totally shouldn't have cheated. What do you guys think I should do?
Would I be wrong for leaving after 6.5 years with no proposal in sight? I, 25 female, have been with my partner, 29 male, for 6.5 years. I'm getting fed up with the fact that we haven't gotten married yet. I am ready for the next chapter of our lives and just feel stuck. I can see why you may be thinking I'm shitty. I would too with that heading, but hear me out. We've been together 6.5 years, are financially stable, own a home together for 4 years, and have a dog together. He told me 3 years ago that he was ready, and a proposal still hasn't happened. We've been through a lot together and have grown together. We went through my brain tumor diagnosis, my grandma who raised me passing, his grandpa's passing, and more. He just tells me to be patient, but he won't give me a reason as to why we are waiting. When I've asked him about it, he always tells me that there's nothing holding him back from getting married. He says that he wants the same thing as me. He swears that it's going to happen for us and even told me he had something planned before COVID hit. But I know by his own admittance that it wasn't more than just an idea. He knows marriage is very important to me, which he has always said he's on board for. He also tells me that he'd say no to a proposal from me because he'd be hurt I took the opportunity away from him. I feel like my needs are being dismissed without even being given a reason. If he would communicate a concern, I'd be more understanding, but this just feels ridiculous. The more time that passes, the more frustrated I become. I never ever want to be that woman to give an ultimatum, but I can't wait around forever if it isn't going to happen. I know that sounds terrible, but if we weren't on the same page, we both need to be able to find that person with the same goals, wants, and needs in life, right? So would I